meeting.
Oh, look, it's preparing to live stream the meeting.
Right.
If you're good.
So now we're running late. They must be having technical difficulties.
Yes.
There you go. That's what you're chopping up to.
Right, and it's supposed to, now here's the thing,
Don't blame Jerry. She's
is it
got-
live though? It says on the bottom that's live, that's the problem. One watching now started streaming less than a minute ago. Okay, I guess we are live, guys. Sorry for anybody watching this. It says,
Wait, why aren't we on there?
I know, that's what I'm trying to figure out. I know I'm doing something wrong, clearly. Yeah. I had to go back to Microsoft Edge for something. That's not it, that's not it. I can't even see with this light. Oh, wait, Microsoft Edge. Microsoft Edge, Borough Clark Summit YouTube. It is. Borough of Clark Summit.
Parking's crazy out there.
I did do that, but that was, okay, that was through Microsoft Edge and then that was, oh my God. This, dang it, I did do
We didn't
this.
start yet because we're.
Because-
figuring this and we're-
You know what? I think we are, guys. Yeah, it's being live streamed.
It says live in the corner.
You see it?
Yep.
Okay,
Top left corner.
okay, fingers crossed.
I think we're good.
I remember that well. Wait, I'm sorry, let me start.
I'm really late.
How about it?
Good time.
All right,
Okay,
I think we're good.
ready to roll. Thank you. Good evening, welcome to the Borough Park Summit Special Meeting, October the 25th, 2023 at 7:10 p.m. In attendance, we have Ms. Zimmerl. Present. Ms. Keough is absent. Ms. Lopez is absent. Mr. Beston.
Present.
Mr. Mitchell is absent. Mayor Kelly.
Here.
Mr. Jenkins.
Sure.
Mr. Shields isn't here yet, and Solicitor Hills.
Here.
Okay. Do we have any public comment? Now, we may have some ghosts here tonight that might want to take the podium.
It's true.
I can't.
You need to be open-minded.
So we might have some ghosts. There
Oh.
in our attendance here tonight.
Wow.
For discussion, we have the first item, our ordinance 2023-01, our Lansdowne turn ordinance.
Did you want to make a public comment at first, Artie?
Oh, not first, when you're done.
Well, I think we would do the public comment before we go into
Oh.
the discussion, if there's something you want to address.
Party Carnation Drive. Does anyone have an idea of the fee yet on the garbage?
I know it's something that
$48.
It was $48 a quarter. A quarter, correct. And it's gonna be a separate bill that's coming. Sewer bills one, this is gonna be a separate bill.
This from the borough or mascara?
Us, from the borough.
Okay. A couple of people asked me, I thought, what if someone wants to get their own hauler? Could they do it?
Their own what?
Their own private hauler? Could they do it?
No, I don't.
No,
think they
a
can.
residence, we have a contract with Mascaro for the residents to,
Unless it's a business.
I was gonna say businesses are, they're on their
No, I'm
own.
just asking.
But a resident, it's JP Mascaro that does our hauling.
Okay, so they're tied in, even if they could get a cheaper fee, they have to.
Yeah, it would, JP Mascaro is who goes around. That's who we contract with, so. Yes, they have to stick
The
with
exception
Mascaro.
is if they're a business. If they're a resident, they gotta do mascara.
Yeah,
Right.
okay.
Yeah.
Contingency, what if someone says, I'm not paying? What happens?
Put a lien on their property.
Well, and honestly, I'd have to see, because I don't know if I don't know what's been worked out with that yet.
Yeah.
I don't
A couple
know.
people mentioned, so, I'm not paying.
Then they're not gonna get their garbage picked up.
That's what they want. They want to take care of their own without paying.
I,
It's not gonna happen.
Well, so I'm just asking why or why not?
I truly.
It'll
we
go
didn't
through the
talk
legal
about it.
process. It'll go through Mary
Oh, yeah.
Claire. And then the bottom line will be that it's just like the water bill or the sewer bill. If you don't pay it, we put a lien on the property.
But this is a different situation.
Yeah.
You can't put a lien on for the trash. That's the only thing.
I'm sure it's.
It's like if I don't pay PPL, they shut me off. Water bill, shut me
Right.
off. Cable, shut me off. With Mascaro, just shut me off, and that's it.
If Virginia were here, I'm sure she'd have an answer for you. They've discussed this in the office between the people
sure.
that are doing it, Sarah and Nicole. And they've discussed all of these things. I do not know the answer to that, so I can't help
I mean, me
you.
personally, whatever the bill is, you know.
Yeah, it's
I-
$48 a quarter,
Yeah, okay.
so
Right,
that's
yeah.
not.
But a couple of people, they mentioned, you know,
And you know what? They were paying it. They were just paying it in their taxes.
Right.
A lot of people don't know that they're actually paying. They'll say, I didn't get my garbage bill, yada. It's in your taxes. So they have been paying it the whole time. So if people think, oh, now we're being charged for it, that is incorrect.
okay, so the tax is gonna.
That is coming out. That's not in the taxes any longer. So that's what
It's still in their taxes. This is what our increase was, right, Jen?
Yes.
What Mascaro
She's right.
again.
is
okay.
charging.
It is already in our taxes every year. Your fees for picking up
Oh,
the
yeah, I
garbage
understand that.
was in your taxes.
Yeah,
Mascaro jumped the fees to 78%, I think it was somewhere around there. So this 48% represents the difference between what you were paying in taxes for the borough, having your fees or your garbage picked up. And this is what Mascaro has increased it by. So that's, you know, that's the way it's,
so it's gonna be roughly $200,
yeah,
which you can't, I mean, you can't complain about that.
no.
Right,
You gotta remember, Artie, this had nothing to do with the borough.
Oh, yeah, I know.
This was Mascaro. Pay more for gas, trucks, labor, and he said, we need this increase because we'll lose money. And none of us really expected the increase, I didn't, expect the increase to be that high.
From them,
And,
yeah.
and there's nobody else putting bids in, nobody puts bids in. So they had us.
Well, I'll just say, like a friend of mine went to the part three meeting, and that right now they have nobody.
Really?
The low bidder backed out because he had a clause in there,
Yeah,
if the price of fuel goes up. He wants to, and they solicitor. Showed up, they rebid,
yeah.
and Mascaro was the only bidder. And I'll, we'll review it till next month.
You're still getting a benefit as far as all these years in the past. In your taxes was part of it was the garbage. Okay, so you were able, when you filed your income tax. You were actually filing for garbage too, because you were able to take all of your taxes as a whole. So that's still happening. That has not changed. What has changed is an increase Mascaro brought this year because of them losing money and needing more.
So
So,
the tax is coming down,
well, no, everything would stay the same because
okay,
if we took the taxes down, then this would go up.
right. Oh, yeah.
So it's a tough.
I understand.
People just have to understand that the borough played no part of this.
Yeah.
Is it simply Mascaro saying we need more money?
It comes down to $16 a month. That's what it comes down
16 a
to.
month.
Right, so is that like an additional fee, like in other words, they get X amount of dollars in taxes that was normally there?
I'm
So
sorry.
this now is a supplemental
Right.
fee, I guess?
This is the
The cost
increase.
is going up because it has to.
Right.
based
Right,
on
so
The contract.
I'm not saying it properly. I guess it was in your taxes. And now because of costs such as gasoline and whatever wear and tear and such. That's created an additional fee. That is, naturally not gonna be your taxes, but will be another bill that you're getting.
Right, it'll be that $48, which the
Right.
borough will be sending out separately.
If I remember correctly, the borough is sending it because if I'm remembering correctly, it was gonna be a larger fee
Right.
if they billed directly.
Yes, it's Mascaro.
We were saving
Remember that, yeah.
people
Yes.
money.
This was the most cost effective way. And we're sending out a letter also Sarah and Nicole have,
Right.
they have a letter that's going out to everybody pretty soon
Right.
to explain it to the residents.
And everybody's went up. South Abington, their trash went up. Everybody's went up because of. that.
Just one thing on basic math. Virginia told me there's roughly 2,000 homes.
Roughly,
Roughly.
yeah.
That's roughly. So if each home pays $200, which they're gonna pay. Right,
Yeah.
48 a quarter.
48
Yeah.
right.
200, that's what, 400,000. Where does the other 800,000? Where's the borough getting that from?
You're asking the wrong person.
No,
I'm sorry.
They worked all the numbers out so that the borough, this would balance out our trash.
Yeah, but I'm saying down the road, are we gonna be on the hook? You're talking just space of $800,000. Like, it's common math, 2,000 homes times $200 is 400,000. And Mascaro's charging 1.2 million? Is that correct?
But already, part of the taxes is built into your, for the sewage is built, or for the garbage is built into your tax.
Yeah, but do we have
every
enough?
year. So you add that tax plus this tax and that's.
But I mean, does the borough have enough where we're not gonna be?
Oh, yeah, yeah,
Oh,
but
okay.
already it's going up every year.
No, that's not what I
It's
mean.
reality,
I mean,
so
where are we getting the $800,000 from?
taxes,
Okay. We have it, we're good.
we're good.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Okay.
Oh, those were good questions, so at least now you know what you can tell people to.
Yeah.
Okay.
And, so we'll go into executive session at the end of our meeting then.
That's fine. We want to do that. So I think what's listed in discussion, it's sort of, there's a number of ordinances, sort of a laundry list of everything that is going to pass by the end of the year. So if, what I could do is just go through the ones that I could address tonight, if you want me to do that. Start out, okay. So the Lansdowne ordinance, I know everybody has, we will discuss that in executive session,
Okay,
in further detail. I did just a quick update, I'm jumping down, but it's just an easy one to fill everyone in on, the regional stormwater MOU.
Can I just ask before we
Yeah.
go too far?
Sure.
Why do we have to go into executive session for the Lansdowne ordinance?
There's an issue that arose that was expected that it falls within the
Or in letters?
category that we-
Okay.
I don't expect it to be long, but I hope.
right.
The regional stormwater MOU, we had voted to go forward with at least exploring the MOU. We received it. We had submitted some suggested changes in some of the language. If you remember, we felt that what they gave us was much more contractual than an MOU. So I've spoken to Lee Stinnett, who's the council overseeing this. So he's agreeable to the language that we submitted.
Oh, good.
He has not sent me back the new version yet, so what they'll do is send me back the new version that includes the language that we suggested, and then we'll have the opportunity to review that one more time before, and council could decide if you want to vote on that. I did learn that so far Dunmore, the municipality, has signed it as it was sent out. So he
They
said,
were the only holdouts, right?
so.
Dunmore?
Yeah, I think other municipalities have done what we've done, and there's certain areas that they've wanted to massage the
Right, yeah.
language or make some changes. But our proposed changes have been accepted, so that's something that's positive, so we'll be able to move that forward.
Good.
Next, I know, and I apologize that it was late in the day, but what I'll do is I'll just highlight a few things. I know we've discussed the quality of life ordinance quite a bit. So I do have a draft for everybody to review. I'm open to any suggestions you have. Again, I know you received this close in time to the meeting time, so I'll just highlight a couple points. I don't know if you want to mark it down, that I would say, point your attention to that is a change or just something that's worth a conversation. So on page 3, which is under our definitions. You know what? Yeah, this is separate. It's right next to there. It's not attached to the packet. It's a separate document.
On page 3.
So, page 3, Where it says local responsible agent, I would just ask you to give that a little star or mark. That is a change. The language I have is any person designated to accept service on behalf of the legal owner, operator of rental dwelling unit. What we had indicated before is it had to be a borough resident. I can tell you that there's been some pushback in other municipalities about the requirements of a local agent. So I think as long as it's someone, it sort of speaks for itself that they have to be able to accept service, so they have to be available. The goal is that they're available to respond if there's an emergency, you can get a hold of someone. But I'm concerned about requiring that they live in the borough and being that restrictive. So I did make that change based on what I have seen in other municipalities.
In other words, they need to have a phone number where they can
We need a live
be
person to talk
contacted
to,
ASAP.
whether or not that person is
Yeah.
in Scranton, Clark Summit,
Yeah.
or Growthboro, if they're willing to get here, if they
Mm.
need to, or accept something, then
Right.
Not
that's
in New York
really-
City.
yeah, not as long as they're.
Yeah.
So what we could do is define that within mileage, that's up to you, we could say within 25 miles or something, it's somewhat arbitrary.
Right,
Um,
yeah.
We could add that, or if it just, as I said, kind of keep it simple, that it's someone that's expected to be responsive.
I think it'd probably be better that way.
Yeah.
If-
I think we're less
if-
likely to get
if-
any sort of challenge that
If
way.
you put too many restrictions on it, then
Yeah.
maybe you are opening up for a can of worms. Then
Okay.
maybe the easier way would be, leave it the way it is.
All right, so that point, and then I would next point you to page 7. With the section 6 service. And the change I made here is our prior ordinance did not require, I don't know if it was practice, but it did not require that the violation be posted on the property. I think that is a best practice. So what I did is just laid out any sort of personal service that's acceptable,
Where are you here?
including on page 7 down here under service.
Oh, okay.
So we're saying a violation ticket shall be served upon a violator by affixing the notice or
Hmm.
violation ticket to the property.
Mhm.
So it's literally taped to the door.
Great.
And then a photo is taken of that.
Okay, it was done.
And that way, it's just a
Mhm.
nice way for, if someone says, I didn't know,
Yeah.
we have what we've mailed out. We also can show if you have
Yeah.
any involvement with this property,
Right.
you're going to have seen it. So I think that's something that's just a best
Mhm.
practice for the borough to do that.
By
And it does
by
kind of-
mailed out, you're gonna send something with a certified return receipt.
So we would do
So you have
post
a
the
signature.
property. And then unless you're serving in person, which is not
Mhm.
necessary, the certified mail makes the most sense.
Right.
And that way, we
Mhm.
know.
Okay.
I don't know if that's something that we do now or not, Jen. Do we normally? Like,
Oh, the only posting
Post
we
it.
do is for sewer,
okay,
when we're gonna shut off the sewer.
it will get people's attention and some
Mhm.
people might,
You do certified mail there, too,
But-
Jen? With the sewers?
No.
Okay.
We send out 100 and some. And then by the time, that's why we fix this on their door,
Okay,
because by the time they get that, they have gotten their bill, they've
Yep.
gotten our letter. They've gotten
numerous.
numerous, so when they say, I didn't realize, okay, so
Yeah.
that's when we do fix that on there. When it gets to the point that we're doing tickets and they're just not responding, we'll send certified, and then literally we'll just get them back. They just don't pick them up at the
Yeah,
post office.
at the post office.
well, I know there's frustration amongst borough residents in terms of some of these quality of life issues. And I think if someone sees this high grass, but they also see something posted on the door,
Mhm.
they know the borough is doing something. And I think that goes a long way.
Mhm.
It also, I think, is just helpful in terms of establishing that we've notified the property owner.
So when just a letter goes out, giving them this ordinance quality of life, saying they are breaking the code,
In violation.
is that we do it right away and put it
First
up?
thing, I would even do that first and then mail it out. Yeah.
Okay.
Same day, but yeah. So post, and mail,
And take a picture of it.
and take a picture of it.
Probably, I don't know if our DPW is gonna do it. I'm not sure how that's gonna go. We'll have to
It
just
could be
figure
anyone
something
that's
out.
designated by the borough to do
Right.
that, but I think that will help in what we're trying to accomplish here and
Mhm.
showing that we're
Yeah, and like
taking our
that,
action.
not staple it on or anything like tape
Mhm.
it on.
That's what we do.
Tape it on, take a picture of it.
Mhm.
It was there when I left.
Mhm.
Yeah. And then owners will come and rip them down, which
Sure,
they can do,
Yep.
but at least we know we put it
We
on
know
there.
it was up.
in
Yeah.
the side.
And I think we probably would have a volunteer here that would be happy to do that.
Get on the duct tape party.
Artie's involved in a lot of borough work, so.
Is it, can I ask a quick question? Is anything been done with Mr. Cuff? Is that still ongoing?
It's still, yeah, it's still ongoing.
Because I mean, he did. Mr. Beston was there, Jerry was there. I was over there numerous times when I was, not now, because I'm, nothing. But when I was doing you,
Mhm.
I was over there many times. and he could-
He killed some. He
They all
just sprayed
died.
them and they killed,
She
but,
ruined their fence. Her
Yeah.
fence is ruined.
but it still continued on. She sent me pictures.
Yeah, oh, good.
Virginia had put in, well, she's been gone for a week, like a week and a half, but she had put in the violations to the magistrate.
Yeah.
As they're not paying, so we send out the tickets, they don't pay them, so then we have to get the magistrate. It's such a long process.
Yeah.
Like it takes months. I'm not kidding you.
Long process. And so I'll point you to, there's just 3 more areas that I'll point out. If you turn to page 8. Under section 8, fines and penalties, and I know this was kind of one of the main areas that we wanted to focus was
Yeah.
increasing the fines. So we used to go over the course of 12 months, first fine, $25, second fine, $50, third fine, $100. So what I have is the first fine is $100. Now that is, we're quadrupling the fine that's going to get people's attention. I think that's the point.
Yeah.
Is that it's something, I think we want to show that the borough is taking the ordinance seriously.
Yeah.
So if you go below to section D, so we have, okay, first fine, second fine, third fine, this is in a 12-month period. Once someone is past that, then any additional offense is $400, however many there are, the rest of them, if they violate it 1 more time or 10 more times.
I'd like to bump that up to 500. I think 400 is a.
It
is a
was, yeah,
A non-starter, $500 will get their attention.
okay,
Or-
it
or,
was 100.
100, I'm good with,
So
even-
that's,
even fine number 250. That's half of 500,
well,
you-
and
you
that's
know.
something I'll just make a note for discussion. So if we
Yeah.
want to like highlight that.
Yeah.
For, once we get beyond those 3 offenses, is what's everyone comfortable with? And I know it was, the hope was get some attention and be a motivator for compliance.
Yep.
So that,
Part of the problem is talking to some of the residents. They don't understand the process.
Yeah.
They wanted it done tomorrow.
I don't.
And when I start explaining the procedure that you have to go through, well, why does it take that long? Well, it is what it is.
yeah,
So if the residents only understood that this is not. If you didn't cut your grass today. They're not gonna come after you tomorrow, because that doesn't happen. The borough has to run through a system. And I think this is great. I don't know about the 500. I'm not in agreement with that. But
well, we could discuss that.
Yeah.
I think, well, I mean, or it's worth considering, like when, I will say, when Scranton bumped from $25 to 100, there was a news article about it. And it's kind of an opportunity to put out there that the borough is looking to
Mhm.
protect its neighborhoods and the
Mhm.
integrity of everyone's property values and
Yep.
things like that. Will everyone read it? No, but it's just a way to kind of help
Yeah.
maybe get something out there once it's finalized, if you want to consider that.
Mhm.
Then one last thing, and it kind of goes to your point, Frank, on page 11. Under section 14, which is liens. So I know it's frustrating for people when they see the property kind of languishing. And no one is doing anything about it, and that we are very limited in being able to go on to people's properties.
Right.
And the reason that we would go on. So I just have this one paragraph under lien where in limited circumstance, if the issue is weeds and high grass, if it's something that's going on for an extended period of time, if we've exhausted things at the magistrate and nothing is happening, that the borough will go onto the property for the limited purpose of cutting the grass.
Mm.
And then put that cost
mhm.
against the property. We're not gonna move people's things. We're not going to try to enter their homes. But if there's an eyesore in the corner and everyone's dealing with, you know, whatever, animals or things like that, just for a limited,
Yeah.
I think it's going to be limited circumstances that we would even think about
Mhm.
doing it.
Mhm.
But I think it would be worth giving ourselves that tool.
The
That,
door is open there for us to do that.
that I can't, I don't see another circumstance beyond that where we wouldn't be really crossing a line with personal property, but if it's simply to take down the high grass ourselves and have it done. And I think that's something that that's worth having a
We have to do
conversation
something,
about.
we have to clamp down
Yeah, and show people that,
and Carnation Drive itself. We have problems and they've been going on and on and on. I
Yeah.
keep getting asked by neighbors, why are you not doing anything?
yeah,
Frank, the unfortunate part is it's happening throughout the borough. It's not just that Carnation
Well,
Drive.
I don't know about the rest of the borough, I'm talking about.
Well, just take it right around the streets. And you'll see other neighborhoods that have
You have,
the same issues.
you have a royal mess.
I mean, it's throughout the borough. It's not just Carnation Drive. And I understand what your plague is over there because we've had the same thing over off of Hidden Lane.
Mhm.
And it's unfortunately, there's a house at the top of Colburn Avenue, right at the intersection of Houston and Colburn. The place is a mess. It's so overgrown, you can't see the front steps. Okay, I took pictures, I showed Virginia. Now, this has been going on, I've been telling her now for 2 months. And we still, you know, the borough crew went up there with the machine. And trimmed it back as far as the machine would reach. And it, you know, it hasn't, the hint hasn't sunk in.
Mhm.
The place is, I don't think the place is being used. I think. And it makes it even, right at the top of the hill.
Yeah.
Put the top of the hill.
I know right where you.
It's a sin. And it just detracts from the whole goddamn neighborhood. It really does. It's a shame.
I'm not, I'd have to, when you go up Colburn and you
Yep.
make a right, is it a dead end?
No,
No, okay, then I'm thinking of.
no,
wrong
what-
place.
no. Colburn To
Okay.
the,
Yeah,
Right.
past Kathleen's house up
Right.
the top.
yeah, yeah,
When you come to the
Yes.
stop sign,
yeah,
well, look for the stop sign, because it's all starting to get overgrown by the bushes
yeah,
I think the address is 308.
okay, and you have, it stops, right? You have to make a left or right?
Yes.
And I do know what you
Right
need,
there.
and I
Yeah.
had
Otherwise,
years
you go into
ago,
the house where Billy, the eye doctor, Billy Gross used to live.
okay, I
Yeah.
have nothing, but I think
Yeah.
I know exactly what you're talking about, and
That house right on
Years
the
ago.
corner, it's terrible.
because when you make the right-hand turn, that's where it's open, that's where you can see like where her door is and stuff like that, is when you make the right-hand
And there's a
turn.
garage there.
But the thing that, but right on the street, yeah, you can't see the front steps, right?
No,
We did,
looks terrible.
I haven't personally, I'm kind of getting back into
Sure.
catching up with everything,
Yeah.
but yeah, I could definitely do that again. I like the thought of raising the fines, because
Yeah.
nobody cares about
No.
$25.
Well, that's exactly it.
$100 is a big
It
step
is.
up
I think it's a
from
great,
25.
great thing, because
Something
most
that
of the
had to be
people,
done.
and they're
It had to
mostly
be done.
habitual people.
Yes,
It's the
Yeah,
same darn
absolutely.
people.
yeah, it is.
So,
And I mean,
and they're not afraid of,
I wouldn't have a problem raising the top fine up to $750 or $1,000. I mean, get their attention.
Yeah, but you don't wanna get that, go that extreme. though.
But Jerry,
I mean,
maybe,
that's-
maybe,
that's-
maybe people will take care of their properties then.
Yeah.
I mean, why should we and the rest of the borough have to suffer because somebody else is a pig? There's absolutely no reason for that. And the only way that the only recourse we have is to jack up the fine. And then when they get it from the magistrate says, well, here it is in black and white, that's what you have to pay.
Well, if they get a fine for $100 because they didn't cut their lawn,
Well, that's a start.
but the thing of it
It
is,
should be 25. 25 is nothing. People
right,
laugh at that.
but I mean, $100 would get their attention, I would think.
Oh.
Time
This
will
is a
tell.
graph that everybody can look at and.
Exactly, yeah.
Yeah.
But hopefully a solid starting
But
point.
that's a good addition there with the liens.
Okay, good. Okay, then with regards to the other items and the kind of the laundry list. I know there's a resolution in here for the CDBG application. I spoke to Peggy Patati about that. That's something that we do every year. Funding. So I don't think there's anything really out of the ordinary. And that's all I have in terms of things that are kind of ready to go, but all of these will be before you, as I said, before the end of the year. So that's all for me.
Which would be advertised, like, so they would, vote for advertising on November, do you think that's possible? No, that's not gonna be.
Maybe we'll still
Okay.
discuss it.
That's fine, yeah, that's fine. I think that's all about this one again.
in the chat.
And these bottom ones, that's the thing.
Those are kind of really, yeah, they're,
Yeah.
like I looked at those, they're pretty standard, but I think they're probably gonna be the first.
Okay.
December.
Okay, okay, that's, okay. Well, I got the civil service, yeah.
But just back on this list with the civil service exam, I know I spoke to the chief. And I know he's interested in council's thoughts on giving another exam, just to see if there's any, I think he's down to one person on the list. I don't know when that expires. So.
Not for another year, I think.
Okay, just bringing that up if that's something that.
Yeah, I think there's only one guy left.
Well, I think we did talk about that. And I think we did kind of all agree that we need to get
Yeah,
another test going.
okay.
And I don't know, Harry, who was gonna try to look into that? Was that something you were gonna look into for
I
another
asked, I
test?
mentioned it to Chris when he came back
Okay.
from his vacation. I said, you know, the council's concerned about it. They want to see because
Yeah.
there's an issue regarding money to put on the test and such.
Right,
And he said he would talk to Virginia, so,
okay,
but,
maybe we'll hear something.
yeah, no, we can find out. We'll get a hold of it.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, we can't go with just one person on the list.
Yeah.
We, you know,
Oh, yeah.
I mean, if we do have to hire somebody, then he's caught between the rock and the hard point with only one person. You know, especially if the person is not who he would really like to have. Well, he doesn't have a choice.
Yeah.
You know?
So if I could just bring up here the 17,169. That was talked about at the last, so at the at our meeting, beginning of this month. And the question was, is this gonna be, moved to capital reserve or the general? That obviously you can't vote on that tonight, but that was something that was brought up that we would rediscuss. So I don't know where you guys are at with that, but that's gonna be voted, that would be voted on, next week.
I felt that it should go to capital reserves and everybody else felt it should go with the budget.
Well, because we just feel that with that amount of money, if something should come up, we can't just pull it out of our capital reserves.
But we're almost at the end of the year. We should know what we need for the end of the budget.
Josh had concerns, I believe, too.
Yeah.
That was I mean, I'm only one vote. You people have all voted me before. I'm just bringing it up that
Oh, and
Just
if he wasn't here, I remember him having that.
it's almost November, so we only have,
Cumbersome.
what, 60 days before the end of the year. We should know where we stand with our budget. That $17,000 isn't gonna break us for putting it into the capital reserves. I mean, I don't know. We have to wait for Virginia to tell us as far as that goes.
So you guys would be voting on that next.
Yeah, I'd
week,
rather
yeah.
I'd
I
feel
would too.
comfortable with the finance committee too being here to.
Exactly,
Decision.
exactly. The two of them not being
To
here.
get their opinion, yeah.
Absolutely.
Frank did this mention there too. Now, is it more difficult to move money from that fund?
Yes, it is.
Yes,
Okay, and what would be some of the factors that would prevent you from, or making it difficult to move it? You need,
what you're gonna use it for. Whereas if it goes into the general fund, it can be used for whatever we deem necessary.
But if it's in the general fund, if I'm correct, we can turn around and then eventually put it in if it
can
came
always
to
do
that,
that,
right?
Yeah, but
Ron,
that's never happened.
that doesn't happen,
No. Once it gets in the general fund, there's always a way to find to use it.
right?
And the capital reserves, we don't kind of bump on that too often. But that was what was done in the past, so I just felt it, keep up the same method. Because at some point in time, the well is gonna run dry and then we won't have money to put in capital reserves, but that's another story.
I don't have anything else for purposes of tonight on the other ordinances listed, other than there's several still in the work for the end of the year, but I don't have an update on any of them besides what I've already discussed.
And the notes that I took here when I went over this with Virginia, like where it says 2024 budgets, the finance committee, well, obviously isn't, we have two people missing, so that's part of it. And then whatever's voted on at the next meeting, at the council meeting, that will be just voting for advertising. That's just
Right.
across the board for all these ordinances.
Okay.
Yep.
And we still have, two contracts that we have to approve, yours and Virginia's.
Mhm.
So that this, of course, would be included in our budget too, so.
Mhm.
But we have to wait till Virginia comes back
Mhm.
to get our numbers and that there.
That's good.
It's Jerry, just a question. The personnel committee does the contract for the two girls. Why would we be waiting for Virginia? I'm not clear on that.
Well, because we have to get a copy of the old contract, and they would present to us what their request is for their new contract. So those are the
I
numbers.
think the
we would
confusion
need.
is maybe personnel as opposed to finance committee. We wouldn't be in front of the personnel committee, we'd be in front of the finance committee to discuss anything.
The
Yeah, that's.
The
true, too.
proposal, I'm getting confused because Virginia asked me that we get together with the personnel committee. So if that was the case, if you were gonna make proposals, they should have already been in.
Yeah, no, they're not,
So if
and
the proposals aren't in, then I'm not quite sure why Virginia would say, let's get.
maybe it was a mistake. It's the only
Yeah.
thing I could think of is that she
Yeah.
just said that. Because there would be no reason for personnel committee. For she and I or anybody like in the office for that.
Well, your contract expires.
Right,
And if you feel you wanted any benefits,
right,
new ones,
right,
you would propose it.
right.
And then we would counter propose with things we think maybe should.
Right. Now, is that personnel committee or finance
That
committee?
would be-
Personnel.
That would be finance.
I thought it was finance.
Contracts are done by personnel, not by finance.
I'm not sure. We'll be back Friday and ask. for
Every
this.
contract I've been involved in was also on personnel.
Well, yeah, but I would think because of it's the finance issue on the contract, you know?
The raises are, and that's what that's what Virginia wanted to know
Mhm,
was what are you guys going to get?
mhm,
Because you have to work that into the budget.
Mhm.
So it's getting confusing.
mhm.
I've never,
Yeah.
I was here and I negotiated 5 or 6 contracts. But I was on the personnel committee.
Hmm.
You and I did the police,
Yeah,
we did the DPW, we did
Okay.
the girls. But have you girls ever put in proposals of things you wanted?
Not for this year. We
No,
have
in the
3
past
years
you have.
ago. Oh, sure, yeah.
but it's been 4
Yes,
years.
for 3 years. Oh,
since-
yes. Mhm.
since the
Yeah,
Yes, come here.
yeah.
Okay.
Uh,
Well, I will, double check with her, of course,
Yeah.
about that.
yeah, because
I'm confused on that.
what she told me is now is
Mhm.
coming out
Mhm,
here.
mhm.
Right, yeah.
It would be your raises for the contract, the
Mhm.
length of your contract.
Right. Mhm.
Any other benefits that may be included or
Mhm.
something you would want.
Right.
That all has to, Virginia would like it done so that we can figure out the budget for the year.
Right.
This is holding up the budget.
Yep. I'm with you, absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
So as far as if you guys do have proposals,
Mhm.
then they should have really been presented to the personnel committee.
Okay, I
Okay,
was
so when
not aware.
Virginia comes back, we'll get all this squared away
Sure,
and
Yep.
try to get this thing behind us.
definitely,
And
yeah,
because I know she's waiting on that one.
Sure, okay,
definitely.
You got it.
We'll make sure we get that done.
yep, definitely.
If she comes back, right?
Oh, that's right.
They never re.
And then the ordinances for mileage, sewer and fire.
So those are, we'll have those in place before the end of the year. Virginia and I spoke briefly about those before she
Good, okay.
left, so I was looking and I don't know that much in terms of changes and things like that.
Right, yeah, yeah. Yeah, the sewer looks like that's gonna stay about the same, don't you think?
That's,
Mary?
yeah.
Our sewers,
The billing,
yeah.
Mhm.
well, I'm not on the finance.
No, no, no.
Oh, no.
No, I said, if there's no increase in our sewer billing through Arwa.
Oh, no, oh, okay, through Arla?
Right,
No, there won't be. an increase.
So that's gonna be.
No,
Very
there won't
good.
be an increase.
very good.
Okay.
Frank, can you answer a question for me? How much damage did they have down there from the rainstorm? Do they have a total yet?
It's a couple million.
A couple? Like, is it under 5 or is it close?
I think it's under 5,
Yeah.
but it did a huge amount of damage to the building and
Yeah.
did a huge, and you saw it where it's all washed out.
How about the
Yeah.
tanks? Were they damaged at all?
No,
They
no,
were
we
not.
almost lost a big pump though. That was,
Yeah.
if it didn't get stuck on the blacktop, it
Uh.
would have went in.
Oh, really?
So, I know the deductible is, just the deductible alone is $24,000, which the Arwa has to put up.
Yeah,
But the total bill is gonna be in the millions.
well, that's a cheap investment
Yes, it
Yeah.
is, yeah.
for all the damage. Okay, thank you. I was curious and I hadn't heard anything. I didn't know if you were able to answer that or not. Thank you. If there's nothing else, I move, we go to the,
We can discuss the land
Discussion.
sound ordinance and.
Yes, it's true.
Next,
So,
now,
did you
have
make
you
a
shut the door, right?
motion?
Is that what?
No, we
you
don't
can't
need
make
one.
motions.
Yeah, I was
I
thinking. to-
moved,
Do you
I
move?
moved.
And we turn the tape off. for that, right?
Yes.
Yes, and it goes off, TV goes off.
Good night, guys.
It's in the TV anyway.